Coming up on this edition of Mustang News, an artist visits Midwestern and brings along his latest work. And later, we'll speak to the Mustang football team about their success this season. Plus, where's the best place in town for a college student to get a cup of coffee? We'll find out. All this and more coming up.
Welcome to Mustangs News. I'm Jacob Smith.
And I'm Naomi Skinner. When great minds come together, you get an event like no other.
And that's exactly what happened at the Mini Makers Fair that took place over the weekend. Reporter Michaela Conway has more on this story.
The Texoma Mini Makers Fair took place Saturday, October 28th at the Impact. It's an event where science, technology, engineering, arts, and math organizations, also known as STEAM, come together to showcase projects and present new ideas.
Artists, so many people around here that make things and do stuff and are of value to our community and our surrounding area, and this is just a great event to be able to show that off.
Among the projects at MSU were radiology, engineering, 3D printing led by Frank Bohuslav, and film boiling presented by Corbin Matamoros.
It's just a marvelous machine. We have printed out such wonderful stuff for the students, and I'm just proud to be there, happy to be there, and it's a great place.
It's the film boiling experiment. When any type of liquid is sitting on a surface that's much hotter than its boiling point, it'll float on its own vapor.
The students presented their own projects as viewers meandered about the many displays and activities. I'm Michaela Conway with Mustang News.
A new exhibit is now open in the Juanita Harvey Art Gallery at the famed Fine Arts Center. Our reporter Olivia Zamora got to speak with the artist.
That's right, I did, Jacob. Interdisciplinary artist Hassan Elahi came to Midwestern to speak on his experience about being placed on an FBI terrorist watch list, as well as display his art in the Juanita Harvey Art Gallery.
Continuum is a collection of art by American interdisciplinary artist Hassan Elahi and is now on display at the Juanita Harvey Art Gallery in the famed Fine Arts Center. In 2002, Elahi, born in Bangladesh, found himself on the government's terrorist watch list. Since 2002, Elahi has used his experience to examine privacy in the technological age.
I like art that barely passes for art. I'm not really sure half the time whether it would even qualify for art in many cases, but I'm interested in work that deals with issues of surveillance, privacy, citizenship, migration, borders, technology.
Elahi spoke to faculty and students at Midwestern State University over surveillance and privacy at a lecture in Legacy Hall on Thursday, October 19th, followed by an opening reception of Continuum held on Friday, October 20th in the Juanita Harvey Art Gallery. The exhibit includes 2 pieces created specifically for MSU.
These images are all the images that I've used on my tracking site, which all the images get reported to the FBI, and I have my own archive. So I'm interested in archives. I'm interested in what is an archive. But in the same way, well, an archive, you can think of it as a library or but what else is an archive? Well, the NSA. The NSA archives information. And the black and white image that you see there is the rooftop of the NSA. So I think one of the things that I would like people to walk away from is their relationship to space. And as we privatize more public space, what does that actually mean? And really, at where are you actually, which space is your space and what is someone else's space? Which is public and which is private? And at what point, what is personal?
Continuum opened on October 20th and will be at the Juanita Harvey Art Gallery until December 29th.
Once again, you can see Hassan's work in the Juanita Harvey Art Gallery, located in the famed Fine Arts Building.
Homecoming has come and gone, but the memories students have never fade away.
Reporter Najoni Taranas takes a look at what homecoming means to students here at MSU. Here's what they had to say.
Memorable. Homecoming is like tradition. It's something that it's festivities, and I think about kind of like where the placement of it is. It's like sort of kind of towards like the middle of the year, so it's kind of a fun reprieve from like, you know, just studies and from, you know, books and homework and all that. You know, we all just get together for the bonfire, the boat race, lip sync, all of that. So it's just like all of us coming together as a community, different organizations competing, and the people who aren't involved in any organizations or, you know, alumni all get to come back and get to watch all of the festivities. So it's just a nice gathering, you know, it's just family. Well, when I was nominated, it was like, okay, this is cool. Like this. I mean, I was excited, to be honest. Like, it was like I would have been happy if, you know, either one of my friends, because De'Erica, like, me and her have been friends since high school, so it was like I get to be on court, you know, one of my great friends. So I would have been happy if she won. I know Maya, Miranda's a great person too. So, you know, it was like I would have been happy if anybody had won because of the fact that I had been nominated. But it was like, you know, they announced my name. It was like, oh, hey.
Winning Homecoming King, I was just honored, really, more than anything. I was happy, really happy, because I knew the Homecoming King from last year, Charles Frazier, and so whenever they said that Charles was going to be handing the scepter and the sash to the next Homecoming King, I was like, I thought it'd be really cool to get it from my friend. Homecoming in 3 words would be fun, memorable, and adventurous. To me, those are the 3 words that describe it the best because homecoming's a ton of fun. I try to go to as many things as possible this year. I know that it's going to be my last undergrad homecoming, so I just wanted it to be special for me, and so I wanted to attend everything that I possibly could and hold on to everything that the university provides for one last time.
Homecoming ended with Midwestern State's football team getting the win. The Mustangs have had quite the season, isn't that right, Jared?
That's right, Jacob. This season, the football team is currently undefeated. They spoke to us on how they plan on keeping their momentum going and where they hope to be at the end of the season.
Mustangs football is currently undefeated in the Lone Star Conference, ranking number 4 in the American Football Coaches Association. Starting quarterback Leighton Rabb has already piled up impressive stats of his own, with 1,783 yards and 17 touchdowns on the season so far.
I think it's where we thought we were going to be, where we expected to be. You know, we come into each week trying to be 1-0, and so for the past 6 or 7 weeks, and that's what we've done is win the week, and so that's what we're going to continue to do is just focus on 1 week at a time.
For second-year defensive backs coach Freddie Banks, being number 4 and undefeated is all too familiar.
I think you have guys who have played last year and been in this situation where you're undefeated, and last year we went in ranked number 4 against West Texas. Undefeated, and we lose. You know, and they were a good football team, but we could have won the game had we executed and done our jobs, but we didn't. So there was a big emphasis on beating West Texas, and going throughout that, beating UTPB.
Even though the Mustangs came up short last year, this season the team is preparing with that same undefeated mindset and more.
It's a great, you know, every day in practice, we come out with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. You know, guys are getting better every day, and then when it comes time for, you know, Saturdays, it's really just practice with stats. You know, practice against somebody you haven't lined up against, but it's the same stuff we do every week. We're in similar drills, similar situations, so you know we just got to put in on the field what we're doing here, and then translate pretty well.
As a coach, we're looking at it as, you know, we've been here before, and we've been here last year. And you just want to keep pushing the players because we made a mistake and slipped up last year and lost some games in some crucial times of the year. So we're really trying to focus on 1 week at a time.
The end goal is the national championship team, and it's something, you know, we want to do. We want to win a playoff game. It hasn't happened here in a long time, so we're trying to accomplish that.
Number 1, we win a conference title, then we think we got a shot to advance to the playoffs. So obviously we want to win it all, but we're taking one step at a time, the same way we're taking 1 game at a time.
The Mustangs are hopeful in their approach for the conference and national championship titles as they finish up their regular season with 2 games left. For Mustang News, I'm Naomi Skinner.
MSU defeated conference rival Tarleton State last Saturday. The Mustangs will face off against the Eastern New Mexico Greyhounds this Saturday at the Greyhound Stadium.
What's Howling without haunted houses? Reporter Jenna Horn spoke to volunteers of a long-standing haunted house right here in Wichita Falls.
Naomi, I did. I spoke to volunteers of the spookiest, biggest haunted house in town.
Wichita Falls residents line up to be spooked by the goblins and ghouls in the Chamber of Horrors. The annual haunted house is hosted by the Boys and Girls Club of Wichita Falls and ran for 3 weeks in October. Volunteers from Shepherd Air Force Base jumped at the opportunity to help out and maybe scare a few people along the way.
I'm just a guide, so I just walk them through it. But when they're coming down the stairs, all the guides kind of like crowd against a window and yell at them, and it's really fun to see them just freak out then.
Hello! Hi there! Hello there!
And it's like really fun seeing how people get really scared and stuff. It's a real nice experience.
The volunteers dressed up as clowns, skeletons, and zombies and hid throughout the basement of the Boys and Girls Club of Wichita Falls. The haunted house drew a huge crowd over its 3-week run, some nights even reaching an audience of over 400 people. For Mustang News, I'm Jenna Horn.
If you missed out on the haunted house this year, you can always catch it next Halloween.
Students came together to celebrate the Dia de los Muertos right here on campus. To celebrate, the bilingual student organization, along with the University Programming Board, Organization of Hispanic Students, Zavala, and Sigma Lambda Alpha teamed up to bring the event to the students of MSU. The event included activities such as face painting, marshmallow sugar skull decorating, and students could make their own flower headbands. Montserrat Gray gave her view on the turnout for the event.
A lot of people participated, and it was pretty nice to see all of these people come together to celebrate the event.
Dia de los Muertos is a 3-day celebration where Hispanics celebrate the lives of loved ones that had passed. Brenda Adime explains what Dia de los Muertos is and what each of the 3 days represents.
Celebrating Day of the Dead, is both days, is November 1st and November 2nd, but today basically is used for the infants that have passed away. So it's a way for the Hispanic culture, not only the Mexican culture, to celebrate those that have passed away in our families. We want to make a little bit like in here for us that are now living back in Mexico. For those that are here, we're trying to make our culture known so that people can enjoy our festivities, and this is why we do it. It's not as big as in Mexico. Mexico, they have like a big parade or something. That there's people that go to the cemeteries and they visit their families the entire day. So it just kind of depends. But yeah, today is for the infants, and then tomorrow is for the older people.
The students and faculty who celebrated Dia de los Muertos wanted to stress the celebration is a time to celebrate their loved ones and not a time to mourn or be sad. Beso said their next big event to celebrate Hispanic culture would be Las Posadas, which will take place during the first week of December.
For many college students, coffee is the lifeblood that keeps them going.
Absolutely, and that's why I decided to go around town in order to find out which local coffee shop in town is the best for college students. Here's what I found. If you need a coffee fix, Wichita Falls is the place to be. With 3 options of local coffee shops in the area, students can find just the right flavor, customer service, and atmosphere they could ever need. We followed some students to these locations to get their opinions. Senior psychology major Madison Breckbuell says she prefers 8th Street Coffee House for its comfortable environment, which she likes to study in.
I think 8th Street is unique because, just look at the way it's decorated. It's warm, it's bright, it's just kind of a cozy place that you can come and relax and do some schoolwork and hang out.
Senior music major Lee Jennings says he prefers to get his fix from Frank and Joe's, mainly because of their involvement in the local community.
I think Frank and Joe's has a very local kind of a feel. They attribute their namesake to Mr. Kemp and Mr. Kell, and I think that kind of gives it a really very local feel, and I really like how they support local business so heavily and donate from every single bit of their earnings to local businesses. And I think they're just kind of more involved in the community than other coffee shops are.
Finally, we stopped at the newest coffee shop in town, Odd Duck, with junior biology major Ashley Neufer, who gave us her first impression of the new coffee destination in the Falls.
I feel like it's brighter. Just walking in and it's brighter. I feel like not exactly homey, but just like chill. Like it's a nice open atmosphere, like compared to like 8th Street. It's kind of a little darker, a little chiller, like a comfier feel, but this one is just kind of a happier feel.
If you're looking for a place to fill up on caffeine for finals coming up soon, be sure to check out these local places and make your own decision on which one you enjoy most. For Mustangs News, I'm Jacob Smith. That's it for this edition of Mustang News.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at M&G Media and like us on Facebook. Be sure to tune in next time for your campus news.